I'm Yajen here at Gimme CrossFit located in San Dimas, California, and today we're going to talk about the 3 rules to help you lose weight while continuing to eat out. And whether you don't have the time to prep your own meals or it's just more convenient for you to dine out, we're going to cover all the do's and don'ts so that you can continue doing what you are doing while still seeing results. So let's get to it. The 3 rules are, first of all, decide beforehand. Second of all, make rules, and finally, the 80-20 rule. Now, these 3 points are kind of going to tie into each other, and we're gonna hash out a plan or a strategy so that you can continue, again, dining out while seeing results there. Now, first rule, decide beforehand. What does that mean? We don't wanna wait until the last minute for us to make this decision of what to eat, because at that point, I'm actually staring at a burger restaurant right across from me right now. We're right next to Red Robin. If you have to decide between something that you want to eat and something that you probably should eat, and that last minute, you're probably gonna go with whatever's most comfortable to you, especially if you're coming from like a long day at work, you're a little stressed out, whatever the reason is. Our goal is trying to take away that decision so that, again, you're gonna go ahead and do whatever is right there. Kind of taking the obstacles away from making that decision. And how we're gonna do that is, you can do a little homework. Take 15 or 20 minutes, bust out a list of restaurants around you that are basically the to-go-to list or the green light that you can visit, all right? And I would actually recommend going a little further and looking through the menu and deciding beforehand, what do I enjoy eating? What's kind of within the rules that we're gonna set in this next step there, and list it out so that when you have to make that decision, it's kind of already pre-decided for you. It still gives you the element of, maybe you want beef instead of chicken today, and you still can make that choice. However, it's not gonna be, salad or French fries. So again, list everything out beforehand, take some time and do that research, okay? Second is gonna be to make rules for yourself. And this is gonna tie into the first rule that we had, but just some simple rules for when dining out. Do your best to try to skip the drinks, the sides, and any sauces. And the sauce kind of depends on what it is, but there's a lot of times, people are like dousing their salads with so much ranch or whatever dressing it is that you're looking at more calories from the dressing than you have in the actual salad itself. Anyways, I broke down this little example for In-N-Out because I love cheeseburgers, and not saying that cheeseburgers is a healthy option for you to always stick to. However, I thought it was a great example for us to use. So let's say I go to In-N-Out, I order a cheeseburger, we're looking at 480 calories there. Now, approximately 80 to 100 of those calories are actually coming from the spread that's added. I just noted it there, that's a part of the total 480. Now, fries, we're at 370s, it's pretty crazy. The fries alone have almost the same amount of calories as the cheeseburger does. In my opinion, the cheeseburger is much more worth it than the fries, by the way. And the soda, 130 calories. So if we were to do the math and kind of add all of these up, you would end up with 980 calories total if you were to go with these 3 options here. Now, out of that 980, 500 of those calories, so a little more than half of the calories, are coming from the fries and soda alone. So that ties back to one of our rules: no drinks, no sides. And that really depends. Of course, like if it's French fries and you're loading up on a bunch of fats and carbs that probably don't benefit you at all compared to a side of like a small salad or some nuts. I don't think restaurants sell nuts, but something that's relatively beneficial to you, it's a different story there. However, you can notice 500 calories, you're skipping over 50% of the calories there just by avoiding the drinks and sides there. The sauce, again, depends on the situation. In this case, it's not like a huge amount. It's a lot of calories, but it's nothing that will probably make or break your diet there. So moving on over, still talking about rules here. These are just a couple general rules of thumb that I would recommend for any diet, whether eating out, eating in. Lean proteins. So make sure you're sticking to lean proteins, sticking to high fiber carbs, under 10 grams of added sugar per meal, okay? Majority of the foods you're consuming are vegetables and fruit, at least 50% of whatever you're eating there, and no processed foods. that might be a little difficult, especially if you are dining out, because a lot of the foods in the majority of restaurants, I don't want to say all the restaurants, do tend to have some sort of processing that is involved. So try to keep an eye out. But again, these are just general rules of thumb that I would recommend for an overall healthy diet. Now, finally, the 80-20 rule. And this one's really important for some people out there, because I know a lot of the times when starting out on a new diet, a new program, you're super excited, you're super motivated, and you're like, I want to follow this to the best of my ability. I want to do really, really good at it. But because of that, a lot of the times what happens is people end up, only following whatever is listed out in the program, and they end up depriving themselves. For example, if you have one cheat day or cheat meal per week, and you take all that week, you're doing good, you're probably missing out on some cheeseburgers, for example, though. And then once you get to your cheat day, instead of having one, you're gonna end up eating 3, you're gonna end up eating 4, having some fries, having some soda. And anyways, the point is, you're probably gonna end up kind of binging out on a lot of high calorie foods, which in turn is gonna sabotage you with all the rest of the progress that you made throughout the week, which is something that, I see a lot of the times kind of people are doing great, but because they're not making any room to enjoy the foods that they actually like to eat, they end up paying for that through a large calorie meal afterwards. So make sure, list out the things that you're eating if you want to keep track. Make sure 80% of them are following your rules, and then the rest of the time, give yourself the opportunity to still enjoy life a little bit there. But those are the 3 rules. Another point I want to point out with this, if you're kind of just making a mental note, I always recommend people to shoot for closer to 85 or 90% of the time eating healthy foods. And the reason why is we have this tendency to, it's like, oh, I had a cheeseburger and some fries and soda. But we'll forget about that because it's harder to recollect through our memory that way. So if you're tracking this, go ahead, stick to that 80-20. If you're just kind of keeping it in the back of your mind there, you might want to shoot for a slightly higher percent of foods that are following your rules than 80% there. But anyways, those are our 3 rules to help make sure you're still able to see results and lose weight while you're dining out, but still have a good time. And I hope that helped out to some extent. If you liked it, let me know in the comments below, and I look forward to the next video. Thank you for watching.